I'm Trevor Stephen, Mental Health Ambassador for Causeway Technologies. Over the last 12 months, I've made a really good friend who's accompanied me on presentations at construction sites up and down the UK. I'd like to introduce you to Matt Hartle of Linden SGB.
Thank you. So my name is Matt George Hartle, that's my nickname, George. I'm an advanced scaffolder by trade. Been in the construction industry 22 years roundabout. So everything in my life was going really well, if I'm honest, at one point. I was married, 3 beautiful children who I adore. And then all of a sudden, it was the father-in-law, Chris, who's the dad I've always wanted. Chris got cancer. Chris had the operation and he just wouldn't wake up. His body started failing. I remember having to be strong for the wife, be strong for the kids. And I remember having a phone call off my niece saying my mum was in hospital. I remember them saying, your mum's not coming out, she was riddled with cancer. It was everywhere. A few months after this, I lost a couple of friends of mine as well. And all this happened within 8 months. And the last one was Nan. So Nan was the wife's Nan. And Nan passed, old age. Yeah, I didn't talk to her about anyone, Just kept it all in, But in the end, I wasn't being strong. I stopped teaching martial arts so much either then as well, if I'm honest. I started lying. That's what you do with depression and, well, any mental health. You lie about what's going on, because you don't want to face the truth. So that went on for a while. And then all of a sudden, I remember I was working at RF Cosford. I had an access tower with a walkway to one of the hangars. It's about 60, 70 foot in the air. And my mind wasn't on the job. That's what was good. That's what's scary. I was working, but my mind wasn't there. My mind was all on this. I was having so many intrusive thoughts. I'm a bad husband. I'm a bad parent. You're not a man. What's going, all this was going on. All of it was just getting too much, man. It was just every single second of the day was getting much. I went to the edge of the platform where I was. I remember thinking, well, you just jump. As soon as I was there, a long, long time. Milliseconds in reality, but I was there. I remember stepping back, and I remember thinking, I'm selfish. I remember this going into my head, going, what about your kids? And I sort of stepped back. The difference from this, and then was carrying on, so this was suicidal thoughts. So I went to suicidal behaviour, started actively planning my suicide. That's scary, it's even there when I talk about it. But I got that ill, I thought my children would be better off without me, and that breaks my heart. All because I didn't talk about it. So this went on for a while. I was going into work, and this is when I started having days off. I remember, can you expect how my wife was with me? I get it, and we were saying we had a massive argument. And I remember leaving that day to go and live my life. I knew where I was going to go. I was 20-minute walks from where I was from my house. I thought nobody noticed. I thought I had a good mask on. I was a bit more angry, a bit more ragey than usual, but that was a bit normal. So what happened is, Ian Hines, he rang me up when I was walking. I was 10 minutes into doing what I was going to do. I had a phone call. He rings me up and he went, George, he went, can we meet for a coffee? So I met him for a coffee, went up to Nero's, and he just went, so what's going on? So I told him, and it sounded as though I was just shouting because I didn't know how to express what I was saying. I didn't know how to get it out. I didn't know how to, all these feelings that I thought, me being a man, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't be this way, And like when I was talking about martial arts and stuff earlier, physical pain I could take. This was hurting me more than anything. And I remember saying it to my friend, and I expected a negative response back, as in, what about your family? What about your kids? Look at what you got. But he never said that. He just said, mate, that's painful. That's so painful. And it is. And then his next question was to me, are you thinking about taking your life? I remember saying, yes. I was crying in the middle of Nero's. And that was my first step to getting better. I didn't know what mental health was. I know now I suffer with depression. Not all the time. I'm not always depressed. I'm not on medication anymore, but sometimes I dip. And the way I used to deal with it, I used to get on it. That's how it is in construction. Back in my day, I used to have a few drinks. I mean, it was so much hard work getting better. Work got me to stop what I was doing. They got me into therapy. And then from that, I was able to build back to where I was. I stopped working straight away. I was put on the sick. I was that ill. I was on the sick, but I needed to be on the sick. I was done. And I come back to work 1 day a week, 2 days a week. And, then it's 3 days, start paying for my own therapy.
So you ended up getting really good support, but I suppose it goes back to that starting of the conversation, that your good friend
Yeah.
called you at a moment where you decided what you were going to do.
Yeah.
And you managed to start that conversation, or he got you to start the conversation.
Mate, I was just very lucky that at that time they gave me that phone call, because if not, I wouldn't be here. If my friends wasn't looking out for me, I wouldn't be here, you know? And that's why I'm very passionate about what I do, and that's why I'm here. There is this as well, it's like the recovery process. It isn't easy, you know? It is, well, a lot of people are, it's not easy, and you need support, but you need to do a lot of hard work to get in there. Sometimes you just need to speak to somebody, and that's the thing. Let's normalise it. Imagine if I went to my wife when she first asked me about Chris. I went, no, I'm not good. I'm broken, you know, but instead, I didn't. And that's not anyone's fault. It's no one's fault. But imagine if I'd learned about what we're doing now, if this was in place and it was all getting there. Let's get people just to talk. That's what I'm on about.
Matt, it's such an emotive story. I've heard it a lot over the last 12 months, but every time I hear it, you know, it really gets me. So thank you for being with us today.